This is Star Students Essay on the website www.starstudentessay.co.za.
We can begin reading the poem Motho ke Motho ka Batho Babang by Jeremy Cronin. A person is a person because of other people. By holding out my mirror out the window, I see clear to the end of the passage. There's a person down there, a prisoner polishing a door handle. In the mirror, I see him see my face in the mirror. I see the fingertips of his free hand bunched together as if to make an object the size of a badge, which travels up to his forehead, the place of an imaginary cap. This means a warder. Two fingers are extended in a V and wiggle like two antennae. He's being watched. A finger on his free hand makes a watch hand's arc on the wrist of his polishing arm without disrupting the slow rhythm of his work. Later, maybe later we can speak. Hey, wat maak jy daar? A voice from around the corner. No, just polishing, boss. He turns back to me. Now watch his free hand. The talkative one slips quietly behind. Strength, brother, it says. In my mirror, a black fist. We can begin the line by line analysis, and we can begin with lines 1 to 2. By holding my mirror out of the window, I see clear to the end of the passage. So, clearly, the setting of the poem is a prison. What is a prison? Perhaps the part where they keep inmates. It's a long corridor with cells. Now, the inmate in one of the cells, he holds a mirror from a little opening of his cell so that he's able to see down the corridor, obviously with the assistance of a mirror. Now, the words, I see clear, there. From line 1 to 2, notice the enjambment, the run-on line, I see clear. It highlights a moment of victory because this inmate is able to overcome his solitary confinement. Now, what is solitary confinement? It's all about taking a prisoner in a prison, an inmate, and isolating them. You want to limit their interaction with other people, and as a form of punishment, you just want to keep them somewhere isolated. That is solitary confinement. So the fact that he gets to see perhaps something or someone clear to the end of the passage, there's this triumph, there's this victory as he's able to overcome his solitary confinement. Now, clearly, the figure of speech here is irony. Please do not underestimate the power of irony in the English home language papers. We see it in paper 1 and we also see it in paper 2. It's not exclusive to poetry. We get to see it perhaps with the cartoon in paper 1. We also get to see it with the novel and the drama. Depending on what set works you're studying, it's an examiner favorite. Now, when I'm in class, I get my students to simply memorize the definition of it. And I want you to memorize it too. Irony implies the opposite of what is said, or when the opposite of what is expected occurs. Irony implies the opposite of what is said, or when the opposite of what is expected occurs. Now, two types of irony here. The first thing is just simply using the word window. What is a window? It's basically an opening through a wall or building. Now, that should enable one to see. However, in this case, the opening in the cell, from the cell, it doesn't enable the inmate to see. So for him to see down the passage, he does so with the assistance of a mirror. So we get the irony simply because of the word window. Secondly, is this "I see clear." That's also irony, because the view of the prisoner, particularly the ones in solitary confinement, their view is meant to be limited. It's meant to be impaired. So the word "clear," it's quite ironic, because the inmate is not usually meant to have a clear view of his surroundings, and obviously with the assistance of a mirror, technically you don't see quite clearly. The vision may be quite reduced, the vision may be quite impaired. So please notice the irony in lines 1 and 2. So I have a bit of a picture to explain. There you have an inmate, clearly from the angle he's facing, he's unable to see down the passage, down the corridor. So with the assistance of a mirror and holding it up, he is able to see down the passage. Now this is quite important, because the mirror is a very, very important tool that basically would enable him to have this unimpaired vision. Even though it is not so clear, it does facilitate him having a view of the corridor, of the passage. We move on to lines 3 to 4 now.